flag. You all know what that is? That's right. That's that evil, racist Tea Party motto, don't tread on me. And it's got a rattlesnake. Those are the extremists. You got to watch out for them. That's what the government teaches their law enforcement agencies. They all have law enforcement agencies now, the BLM. Goddamn post office. I still don't understand why the post office would need that much armament to collect a frickin' due postage. Why would the post office? I mean, are the dogs really that big out there? Are they that, ferocious that you need a goddamn Delta Force to deliver the frickin' mail? Jesus, God damn it. And people, no big deal. Oh, so what? Oh, well. That's all right. Oh, well. It's the post office. They need it. There's the government. We don't like it. But it's the 21st century. Just is what it is. No, it isn't. Is what it is, Mr. John McCain. And your goddamn 21st century stupid handbook. I mean, goddamn, why do we allow this? And then vote for more of it. I don't know. I don't get it. But it's going to take, people are going to have to get a little angry. I'm sorry, but they're going to have to get pissed off. And they're going to have to be more of them. Just like those people out there, the Operation American Spring. They're not out there for violence. Therefore. They're out there because they're fed the frig up. And they want the things to go back to, why and how our country was formed in the first frickin' place. Which, if I could ever shut up, we're going to get to it, because I do have some history to discuss today. So this is going to be actually should be an educational program. Ha ha. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, I'm hoping to learn myself. But getting back to this, a high school senior in Colorado. Wait till you hear his name. It's a perfect name to live in Colorado. Wait till we get to it. A high school senior in Colorado. Beautiful country, by the way. I've got a lot of roots in Colorado. My grandparents just came over from the boat. I think they were born there. My parents were both born in Colorado, Fort Collins, and my mom was born in Greeley. My grandmother actually was born in Oklahoma. They were on their way to Colorado from the boat. So, anyway, getting back to, God almighty, it's going to take me forever. But a high school senior in Colorado was suspended from school and banned from graduation. He would have to get his diploma later. Guess what he did? Guess what his little crime was? Anybody got any ideas what his crime was? Well, the Gadsden, the Don't Tread on Me flag. They had the American flag up on top. Well, he lowered the stupid school flag and put up the Don't Tread on Me flag. Well, evidently it set this kid's principal in a absolute tirade. The Examiner, I guess that's the local newspaper there in Colorado, reported that on May 9th, now get this, Greg Stoneburner. I mean, come on, man. That's a perfect name for Colorado. Stoneburner. I mean, if you can't make this stuff up, man. I love it. I love this kid. Greg Stoneburner. I love it, man. I love this kid. And good for him. God damn it. Finally, somebody's standing up, man. Showing their hair, man. Say, hey, enough. I mean, you got high school kids doing this. I mean, that says something right there. Good for you there, Mr. Greg Stoneburner. I love it, man. That's great. Well, he replaced the school's flag with the Don't Tread on Me flag because it is used by the Tea Party movement as an expression of freedom and the willingness to fight for it. Isn't that racist? That's horrible. You should never fly that flag. That's horrible. You see, obviously, again, remember what I talked about? The reason why nobody came up to that girl and said, "Excuse me, sweetheart, but hump day," it refers to camels have humps. I mean, it refers to Wednesday is the middle of the frickin' week. But camels have humps. So they use that with the term hump day because it's a camel. It has a hump. Nobody wanted to explain that to this girl because nobody knew it themselves because they weren't programmed. They weren't programmed to think. They weren't programmed to pay frickin' attention. That's why they don't know. The teachers don't know how to teach. They only know how to program. And that pisses them off when a student doesn't want to be programmed. He wants to be taught, not programmed. So the kid gets out of line, and he must be punished. And we must call the police, which we've got a story about that today, too. I mean, this crap just never ends. Never frickin' ends. According to a Facebook post by Mr. Stoneburner, again, I love that name, man, for Colorado now. Oh, this is great. He was not attempting to push any political affiliation, but was merely trying to encourage historical and contemporary discussion about our students' rights, that's what he says. Upon seeing the flag waving in the air with Old Glory, well, the principal of Central High School, broad's name, Jodie Diers. If anybody knows Jodie Diers there in Colorado, the Central High School, if anybody knows who this woman is, could you walk up to her and could you tell her? Could you tell her what kind of a freak she's been? Maybe she could actually learn something if she'd shut up long enough to pay attention. What is she doing in the school? Why is she a principal when she obviously never studied American history? Now I know. We can't teach American history in high schools today. Public schools can't have American history. It's racist. Well, because it's all all American history is nothing but a bunch of white people ganging up on a whole bunch of other different colored people. That's all American history is. That's it. So we can't teach it. It's racist. So we're going to make up our own. Where the Democrats win every time because they're clean and wholesome and pure. And we're just going to give you just the information that you need. They're going to pick your children's, occupation. Okay, well, you're good at this, so this is all you're going to do for the rest of your frickin' life. Master it. That's all they want them to do. One specific task for the rest of their lives, to be a slave. That's right, slave. I'll repeat it. Slave. Jodie Diers, you're an idiot. Well, she went on a little temper tantrum. Obviously, she's still a child. Because, see, adults would have paid attention in history. They would have paid attention. They would have read a history book. You would think to get a teaching degree, before this woman even becomes a goddamn principal, she's got to get a teaching degree. Don't you think if you get a teaching degree, you have to have some kind of, understanding of American history? I'm pretty sure you do. Pretty sure you do. Right? Well, not anymore, obviously. Why? Well, I don't know. It's racist. It's got to be. It's got to be racist because, white people live in America. So it's racist. Well, she goes on a little rampage, throwing little fits, screaming at the top of her fat frickin' lungs, "Take the flag down, take the flag down, it's horrible, it's racist, no, take it down." Well, Mr. Stoneburner was then pulled out of a scholarship breakfast, along with his parents. I mean, this is classic. I mean, absolute frickin'. I mean, this is beyond. This is absolute too much. Maybe if this Jodie Diers would have, I don't know. Maybe if the whole school would have actually learned history before they became a teacher and before they became a goddamn principal, they would have all known. First of all, they would have known not to be the way that they are, and this kid would have never had to fly the flag in the first frickin' place. But secondly, this teacher should have learned some amount of American history. And if she didn't, well, then what is she doing in a school? Why is she a principal? How did she become a teacher, much less a goddamn principal, if she doesn't understand American history? Well, we're going to help her out today. We're going to help you out today there, Jodie Diers. You're an idiot. You are an absolute frickin' idiot. Well, they pull him out of this breakfast, along with his parents, and told that he was not welcome at Central High, and that his prank, it's a prank, his prank was a slap in the face to the school. Don't tread on me as a slap in the face to the school? Sweetheart, again, you need some history there, sweetie. And it's coming up quick, if I can shut up long enough to get to it. His flag was confiscated, as if it's contraband. His flag was confiscated, and he was not awarded his diploma until after graduation. Well, I'm pretty sure they learned him. What did that accomplish there, Miss Jodie Diers? Huh? What did you think you accomplished there? You sent a message? Is that what it is? Are you proud of that message you sent? You proud that you made yourself look like an ass? Made yourself look stupid is what you did, because you don't understand history. You've got no business being anywhere near a goddamn school, Miss Jodie Diers. You're an idiot. You should have known some of this stuff. And maybe you should have, talked to your damn teachers and said, look, we're going to teach real history in this school. We're not going to teach the new history, the Common Core history. We're not going to teach the Common Core math. Or it takes you goddamn near half a month of Sundays just to get through 2 plus frickin' 2. What is the point of that? I don't know. You're trying to minus double-digit numbers, and you have to end up, the answer, you have to end up adding numbers together to get the answer. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. You don't need that many numbers. Jesus Christ, do the frickin' thing in your head. Why don't they teach you how to do it in your head? So you don't be a dummy. All right, let's get into some history. This is the Don't Tread on Me. Well, people don't seem to know, and obviously Miss Jodie Diers doesn't seem to know. Obviously none of the teachers seem to know. Maybe none of the parents seem to know. Does anybody know? That's a good grog. Well, we're all going to know. We're all going to know right frickin' now, because we're going to cover it. All right. The snake symbol, join or die. You all remember that? Well, Benjamin Franklin in 1751. That's a long time ago. He wrote a satirical comedy, or a commentary, in his Pennsylvania Gazette, suggesting that as a way to thank the Brits for their policy of sending convicted felons to America, American colonists should send rattlesnakes to England. That's where it all started. That was the very beginning. 3 years later, in 1754, he used a snake to illustrate another point. Sketched, carved, and published the very first known political cartoon in American newspaper. Imagine that. You just learned something there. You ever get on Jeopardy? Well, right there's your goddamn answer. You can take home the big prize. It was the image of a snake cut into 8 sections. The sections represented the individual colonies, and the curves of the snake suggested the coastline. New England was combined into one section as the head of the snake. South Kakalaki was at the tail, where the ominous words "join or die." That was not joining for the revolutionary cause. It was a plea for unity in defending the colonies during the French and Indian War. So they were defending themselves from other people's wars. The French were killing Indians. They weren't Americans. They were the French. It played off a common superstition of the time. A snake that had been cut into pieces could come back to life if you joined the sections together before sunset. So that's what it's going to take. We got to come together. That's the whole origin of that. Well, the snake came in handy again, 10 years later, when Americans were again uniting, but for a different cause. They were uniting against the British. The Stamp Act got them really pissed off. That was like one of the end ones. That was really pissing them off. And then they had all these other rules. And the rules, and more restrictions, more taxes, and they couldn't take it anymore. Any resemblance to what's happening here today? More rules, more taxes. All right, we'll keep reading. Maybe you might figure it out. I don't know. Well, what had happened was the real symbol. It was used by a bunch of other different people. Everybody started copying the snake. Well, I do believe it was in the fall of 1775. Here it is. The British were occupying Boston, and the young Continental Army. This is actually pretty good history. Where the Navy and the Marine Corps, where they came in. In the fall of 1775, the British were occupying Boston, and the young Continental Army was holed up in Cambridge. Woefully short on arms and ammunition at the Battle of Bunker Hill, Washington's troops had been slow on gunpowder. Actually, they'd been so low on gunpowder that they were ordered not to fire until you see the whites of their frickin' eyes. In October, a merchant ship called the Black Prince. This is where it actually gets pretty good. This is actually some pretty good history. Some of this stuff I did remember. I think I learned it in the Navy, but when I read it again over the weekend, I thought, I remember this now. I forgot it, but now I remember it until I forget it again. But right now, we're going to know it. If I can shut up and read it. In October, a merchant ship called the Black Prince returned to Philadelphia from a voyage to England. On board were private letters to the Second Continental Congress that informed them that the British government was sending 2 ships to America loaded with arms and gunpowder for the British troops. Well, Congress decided that George Washington needed those arms. And I'm pretty sure George Washington decided that he needed those arms as well, along with his entire army decided they needed those weapons as well. So they got them. A plan was hatched to capture the British cargo ships. They authorized the creation of the Continental Navy, my beloved Navy. starting with 4 ships. One of them was the Black Prince. It was purchased, and they renamed it the Alfred. So if you're ever on Jeopardy, remember, the Alfred used to be the Black Prince. To accompany the Navy on their first mission, Congress also authorized the mustering of 5 companies of Marines. That's the very beginning of the United States Marine Corps. The Alfred and its sailors and Marines went on to achieve some of the most notable victories of the American Revolution. Particularly interesting, again, I can't ever say that word. Some of the Marines that enlisted that month in Philadelphia were carrying drums, and they were all painted yellow. And they had a fierce rattlesnake on the side. It was coiled up, and it was like ready to strike, which is the common that we know of today. It had 13 rattles. Well, in December 1775, an American guesser anonymously wrote to the Pennsylvania Journal, "I observed on one of the drums belonging to the Marines, now raising, there was painted a rattlesnake with the modest motto under it, 'Don't tread on me.' As I know it is a custom to have some device on the arms of every country, I suppose this may have been intended for the arms of America." Well, it did. It caught on. First, it occurred to him that the rattlesnake is found in no other quarter of the world besides America. That's another trivia question. How about that? See how much you're learning here today? The rattlesnake also has sharp eyes and may therefore be esteemed as an emblem of vigilance. They've got sharp eyes. Nothing gets past them. And they will strike you. You can mess with a snake, but eventually he's going to bite you. She never begins an attack, nor, when once engaged, ever surrenders. That's America. She is therefore an emblem of true courage. She never wounds till she has generously given notice, even to her enemy, and cautioned him against the danger of treading on her. In other words, you keep this up, yeah, we're going to open up a can of whoop ass, and it's going to hurt, and you're going to lose, and you ain't got a fighting frickin' chance of winning. So back off. That's what I've been warning you liberals. I'm sorry, but you're just going to have to suck it up and back off. That's all you're going to do. Maybe if this Jodie Diers, maybe if she had taken the time during all of her schooling, God knows how long she went to school. God knows how many history books she'd had to read and teach. God only knows what she taught. But I'm sure at some point along the line, she probably taught some sort of history. Obviously, she wasn't very good at it. So let's make her principal, because she can't teach. But she's a good leader. Really? Does a good leader throw a goddamn tizzy fit in front of everybody? Demand that this criminal, this miscreant, be removed? Huh? Got to take him and his whole family out of this little scholarship breakfast. Not allowed back at the school. Can't get his diploma until after graduation. Do you really think that's deserving? I don't. I'm sorry, sweetie, but what exactly did you really think that you accomplished here by doing all of this? Suspending him, not giving him his diploma, kicked out of the breakfast, him and his parents. What did you think you accomplished? Huh? Did you set an example? If that's the example that you set, sweetie, that's not a very good example. You don't look very... See, if you're going to do that, you tell me. What you're telling me, Jodie Diers, is you're not mentally capable of handling the situation. You're mentally unstable. Because a mature person would have, first of all, understood, not had a cow. Maybe kept it up. Then put up the school flag underneath it and kept it. And not had a problem with it because, you being a principal, you think you would know this stuff. You would know history. Well, I gave you a little bit of history today. So hopefully it helps you out there, Jodie Diers, you idiot.